Hello, good evening, everyone, and you're welcome to this week's edition of TechBiz, brought to you by Eco Innovation Center, located here in the city of Lagos, 50 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Eco Innovation Center is an innovation center focusing on acceleration of startups and organizations that employ majorly innovation and technology as the core of their organization's activities. And therefore, we say we are big in helping organizations that employ innovation and technology to commercialize. And commercialization is what we are obsessed with. One of the big pillars of eco-innovation is also civic tech. And in civic tech, we partner with many regional and sub-regional organizations and governments to accelerate civic initiatives and civic technology projects that work for the betterment of the society in which we find ourselves. TechBiz is one of our initiatives in which we bring in facilitators and developmental experts in the ecosystem to share nuggets and share their experiences and help to contribute to the work of equipping our startups who are in the ecosystem. In the last 48 episodes of TechBiz, we have dealt with all several aspects of the entrepreneurial journey, talking about investment readiness. We spoke about finance. We have spoken about intellectual property. Last week, we had Fred when we spoke about strategic tools for business management, where we looked at the strategic canvas. We have talked about your most important part, which are your human resource and human assets, and how entrepreneurs can leverage human assets to grow their businesses. We have talked about innovating and ideation. We have talked about branding. And of course, as we look at the activities of today, we will be sharing with you later on who the speaker for today is, and of course, what he will be talking about. For those of us who are just joining also in Co-Innovation, do also know, joining TechBiz, brought to you by Co-Innovation, do also know that you can find all the 48 episodes of TechBiz on the website when you go www.ecoicenter.com/webinars. You will find all the recordings of all the 48 episodes of TechBiz on there, and feel free, of course, to immerse yourself and learn and ask questions, and let us just have your feedback. Today is another day in which we have someone who will be speaking to us, a great facilitator in the ecosystem, that will be talking to us about understanding brand identities in a rapidly changing global economy. I'm sure so many of us understand that the world has never been the same. Going down 18 months is still not the same. And there's a need for people to reinvent, to pivot, to reassess what is their brand promise, what is the essence, the USP of the organizations, or what do they stand for? And that's why we think a topic such as understanding brand identities is relevant for a time like this. And of course, based on what we see, which is a rapidly changing global economy in which we all play. And of course, I will do the honor of introducing our facilitator for today, who will, of course, be driving the ship and be leading us through for the next 40 minutes on this topic of brand identities in the changing global economy. I will be introducing him. He's an entrepreneur, an investment and technology consultant for governments and non-state actors. He specializes in design and implementation of smart projects. He is an advisor with interest in entrepreneurial education, technology, emergency solutions, and SMEs. He has collaborated with various institutes and governments across Africa in several developmental efforts within the African continent. He co-founded Pan-African Spark in 2015 and is widely recognized globally for his support and contributions to the growth of what he dubbed technopreneurial education. And of course, you understand that's why it's on TechBiz, where we seek to, to a large extent, equip our people, develop the entrepreneurs who are on our platform and get them ready for the changing world. In June 2014, he was named one of the smart pioneers of phenomenal technology thinking and creative design during the Shared Future Project of India, Africa. Hence the name Africa Technopreneur by GSF Accelerator. In June 2015, as the only African finalist, he was named as one of the only 8 global accelerating entrepreneurs by the DBS Foundation, Singapore, during the finals of Lee Kuan Yew entrepreneurial competition. Lee Kuan Yew Global Business Plan competition. He was the only African finalist. After winning the Global Social Entrepreneurship competition, University of Washington Michael G. Foster School of Business in 2013, Godson was inspired to lead by example. And this development battered his drive towards African capitalism. Under the supervision and delivery of SMARC Innovation Hub, he is presently overseeing a project with 2 sub-regional governments, Abia State and Kaduna State government, on building technology e-relay and enumeration frameworks in these 2 states. Godson is a committed grassroots technology advocate and has trained and inspired more than 25,000 youths in different careers and disciplines. I'm sure you will all agree with me that Godson will be bringing so much value to us this evening, and he has the right kind of profile for our entrepreneurs and people who listen and who are part of the TechBiz ecosystem. Godson Ogunka, you are welcome. He is the co-founder and CEO of Pan African Spark. Thank you very much, and you are welcome, Godson. You have the floor.
Thank you, sir. It's my special delight to be part of the TechBiz project of the Eco Innovation Hub Center. I am truly delighted to be part of what you're doing, the great impact you're making. And I must recall that this is the 2nd year you have also organized the Art of Technology conferences, which is about the biggest conference in Africa, gathering technology experts, younger startups, entrepreneurs in and around Nigeria. So I must appreciate what you're doing. It's my pleasure, my special delight to be here on this program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate your feedback.
So I want to welcome everyone who's going to be part of this learning experience. Over the next 40 minutes, we'll be talking about branding. We'll be talking about how brands can help accelerate our business, understanding the rudiments, the basics, what is required for everyone to know, about branding, the scope of branding, the whole idea of creating ideologies, building products, what is relevant for the market, what is the need of the now, what is the need of the market, who is interested in what you're given. Most times we go into branding, we go into startups and we found organizations start doing business, and we think that the idea of branding is just an extra thing to help make it look good, to furnish the looks of either our business, our ideas, whatever we find us. To do, but branding, branding is very important that you understand what works for you and what works for the society. First of all, what is branding? We look at this scope of branding and we think we can just get into, we understand it. It's about printing, it's about graphic design, it's about building a website, It's about, dressing well. It's about having a wonderful presentation, having a wonderful slide. It's about cloning identities, what is applicable out there, and then trying to make it work here. It is a way, it is way more than that. So branding is a process of creating a strong, positive perception of your company, of your business, of your general identity. When I talk of identity, I mean everything you represent. In branding, the focus is not to sell the product. The focus is to sell yourself well, because in the selling of yourself, the product is sold. So how you market yourself first, so you need to start to understand, what do I need to do? What is my business all about? What is my USP? What is the value I'm communicating? So I want to drive in straight to looking at the very first area which, gets my interest, which is, what is the need for today? Understanding the need of today is very important for your business to work well. So in as much as we want to create positive perceptions of our company, of our identities, and want to build, using different elements, want to build a beautiful outlay of what an international, global accepted brand should look like, we should also understand that everything we're doing has an impact in the economy. Everything we are doing has an impact in our personal development, and everything we find ourselves doing in terms of branding tends to, promote not just your individual, your environment, your circles, your neighborhood, and at large, you are promoting a global economy. So what's the need for today? Business has changed. Business is not, the way it is 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And now it is a new research by the, World, what's it called? The World Bank has it that business has moved, the constant rate of evolution of businesses happens more intensively every 6 months. Every 6 months, things tend to evolve into new forms. We do not see things the way they are and the way they were, every 6 months rolling period. So if you do not connect with the developmental flow of business ideas, of how organizations operate, you will not connect in the now. When you look at, the fintech industry, it is blooming in the present because there is a demand for it in the present. There is investors, the outlook for businesses, the outlook for opportunities, the economy is financial systems. Africa is the next big thing. That was what they used to say 5-10 years ago. But now I would tell you gladly that Africa is that big thing because we have arrived at that position. We are right there at that point where we have stopped thinking of Africa being a big thing, but Africa operating in the now as a big thing. Fintech is making a lot of waves because there is a point of investiture connecting the international, the Western world, the Western communities to do business in Africa, to do business with Nigerians, people everywhere in sub-Sahara. But how do you connect? So what's the first landing? People want to know what is in this for me. How do I do things? How do I start from point A, go through point B, C, D, and exit? So if there's no formal clarity into how businesses start and exit, branding is incomplete. So first of all, look at, how do I go in? How do I start out with this operation? What is my business offering? In the community where you belong, the neighborhood where you find yourself, are you relevant? Is it relevant? If you study, if you live in a state or in a place where nuclear engineering is being tutored or studied in a tertiary institution, and there is no nuclear plant that exists there, you might be living in the wrong environment unless you are building to exit. So the first thing you need to know and the first thing you need to understand is, whatever product I'm building right now, is it very vital and valid for the environment I exist in? So if you exist in an environment, try to look straight up into what is necessary for there. So most times as startups, we make a lot of mistakes. I've been privileged to go through, starting businesses, startups, and being part of different initiatives. And the rolling problem which we have is a continuous thing that we've had as young people, is that we tend to go into the big dreams that are not feasible, especially in where we belong. What is realistic here? What do you find necessary and useful in your local environment? So think first about where you belong. Where do I live? Where do I want to operate from? Or where do you want to target? So for every business, there's a niche. If you do not live in the right niche that supports and fosters the development and the progress of your business, then you belong in the wrong economy. Now, I'm talking of economy because it connects first to you, and before it connects first to your environment. So think first, what I'm offering, is it right for my local environment? Is it right for me? Is it valid? Is it needed here? Some products, I classify them into 4 different categories. And these categories are first, how feasible is it for me to start it out real fast? 2, how feasible is it for me to bring in an investor or an extra hand that's going to help me start out real fast? 3, who do I need to work with? Who is not just me or an extra support? Is it the government or is it another location? And 4, is it something that is feasible in the now? There are several ideas that are not feasible in the now. There are businesses that you might not be able to run on your own. There are businesses you really need an extra hand to work with. So this is where we get it wrong. We do not want to collaborate. Collaboration is the next big thing, and there is no more competition. Why don't you want to collaborate with the other person offering similar brands or solutions, or something that complements to what you have? Most times we do not invest. We just want to offer a solution and forget that there's a way this solution can be offered rightly to make extra, gain, and also promote better solutions, advancements in your personal economy and the national economy. Very important. So what is branding? How is it looking out on you? How does it affect where you live? So branding today speaks more about what is relevant in today's economy, what is vital. Are you doing the wrong thing? Are you getting into the right businesses but that are not valid in the now? So you need to rethink, you need to go through these circles, all these blocks, and come to a point where you conclude and say, this is valid for me. So that is very important. If you're looking at understanding what is needful in the now, useful in the now, and also relevant in the society or environment you live in, then I think you're connected to the right business. Now it's looking like I'm talking about business more than branding, but it is how you put this together, in pari passu, side by side, that you will understand how it operates for you. So next, I want to switch into you understanding what branding, is. In as much as we have tried to look at what is, how branding is relevant in the now, there are brands that help adapt quicker growth and economic growth, and there are brands that, that are for the long term. There are brands that are in the short term, and there are solutions that are meant for the long term. If you are building for the long term, you also need to know that you need to build a sustainable framework for your personal business, for your team, and the whole ideology. Are you working on a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year incremental growth plan? What is your implementality? So I'm talking of implementation and the mentality connected with the development of your process. How does it work? How is it, correlative to your economy? How does it balance? If there's no balance, then you're doing the wrong thing. So think again. Is this valid in the now? Apart from being valid, does it support rapid development, or is it meant for, a time in the future? You can build in the future, and then, when the time is right, you cash out. But cashing out isn't the main focus. our focus would be more about impact, communicating impact and the right solutions for our communities. I want to believe that I'm speaking to entrepreneurs, startups, and the people who have found their faith in understanding what they want to do, but they do not know how to get started. So getting started, let's believe that you have gone through the first two phases, understanding what is right in the now. So the next step will be, how do I make it work? I like, in my course of, talk and in my speech, I'll be training more. I will be giving you rudimentary, systems. Now let's use examples. Company A starts out today and wants to brand. What is the first step? So there is a face brand identity development, and there's a psychological brand identity development. Now, these are very important for you to look at. What is the face brand? Face brand is everything I see, everything you see, everything people will see when they talk about your brand. Very importantly. So think about first, what do I see? What do people see? And what is very valid for my economy? What do people see? What do I see? What is valid? What, it is first, your eyes will capture these ideas. What you see first is what goes in to your psychology, and that's how these things operate. So let's look at, what do people see? What are these things that people find they want to see every day? First, your logo. Two, your designs, how you work with documents. How do you relate? How do you communicate? If you are an agricultural firm, you're building a startup in the circle of agriculture, you need to also know, how do I brand this? I met a friend of mine who started out a business, an agricultural firm. And first of all, he got a new logo. He was so excited and wanted to show me this logo. On this logo, I saw a purple and a red. Looking beautiful logo, but then I started wondering, how does purple and red connect to your delivery? How does it connect to what you do? So colors, when you talk of branding, face branding, colors are very key. Your text, what type of fonts are being used in your design? What are these typefaces? What kind of orientations do your designs take? Are you using, silhouettes? What is the presentation that you are taking? So you need to know first, communicate first. What are the very first things I need to see? What do people see from out there that speaks volumes about my business? If I see your logo, does it tell me exactly what you do? If I see your logo, does it talk volumes already? When you see the letter F in a boxed, circle, what do you think of? You think of Facebook. If you see a bird, it's a Twitter. What works for you? What captures, what is easily connected to people? What do people want to register? What registers in their brain when they see you or when they see your brand? What identity are you building first? So the identity starts from first, what's my logo? What are the paperwork I have? What is, how do I communicate with documents? All of this matter. Now, you think logo is just what face branding is? No. Your invoices, your contract papers, your everything that connects you and your consumer, and has to come with paperwork or digital, material, soft work. How does it look? How does it come out? So if you're ready to do business, you need to ask yourself this question: what do I look like out there? You need to look good first before you think of growth. The basics of branding talks more of growth. It talks more of your outlook. Now, the psychological part of branding is, what do people think? What do they easily perceive when they see you? Does it communicate fear? Does it communicate confidence? Does it communicate firmness? Does it communicate sternness? Like, do you have some repulsive image that you put out there? How beautiful does it communicate? When you see most, okay, so I'm part of an organization, brand based, that is fully into digital development. We do stage branding, different levels of branding. And the logo takes the form of a butterfly, something that is simple, beautiful for everybody to see, that comes with colors. So what do you see? What do you want people to see? Let's start from building that well. So designs are very important. Do not just go to the guy on the street corner who runs a cyber cafe or a business center and think that you want to do your branding. Give it to someone who specializes in this area of branding. Let the person develop a better identity for you and for your business. So you might consider rebranding your business after this session. I know a lot of you might want to do that because colors, identity, different things. There are a lot of things. If I want to talk about colors and the elements of colors, how they communicate. When you see red, it talks of danger. When you see white, it talks of balance. When you see, there are different meanings of colors: the green, the blue. When you go to hospitals, why are their beds not in black? Why are their sheets? Why are the sheets of sky blue and sometimes green and white? Why are these three colors very relevant? You need to understand that. When you're talking of green, you're talking of introducing light. So it is very basic things that you need to see. When you talk of blue, it talks of social, being friendly. We're here to help. That's what things say. When you talk about white, it's just cleanness, neatness. We are clean, we are pure, we are ready to help. Now, if you walk into a ward and the walls are painted in red and the curtains are in black, I'm very sure you'll be, getting ready to exit. You want to take off. These are what simple, just, a paint on a wall can scare you away. So such things, first of all, what do people see when they come into your space? How confident do you make them feel? How relaxed? Do you make them want to socialize? If you go into co-creative spaces, you see multiple colors because they want to pop. They want you to get creative. Orange is also a color that connects with creativity. So I don't want to go into just the rudiments of each color and the rest of that. There is a lot you need to do. Understand colors, understand typefaces, understand fonts, understand spacing, understand design, understand integrity of images, understand a lot of things. You might even want to enroll into a training to understand how graphic designs and the elements of design operate for your business. So branding talks more of this, is just one aspect of it. So the next thing you need to do is look first firmly into your team. What is the makeup of your team? How many people do you have on board? How many people do you have rightly connected to what you do? Who is interested in what you're doing? Who do you want to work with? How confident are you making them understand your USP? What is different about what you're doing that the other person is not offering? So if you do not key into, your USP, if you don't stand strong on it, someone else might look at it and then try to do something else. So how you do this, your USP matters, talks volumes about your business. So basically, do not look down on your USP and the significance, the importance of your brand identity. Very important. So, so this question came up: how does brand identities affect economies? A firm, I want to, come up with success stories. Brands like we have a lot of brands. The Flutter Wave, we have different sales brands. We have fintech solutions that are growing. The different brands like this have contributed immensely to the development of our economy. I want to say that Paystack and Flutterwave, they have really promoted, they have done a lot to promote how business, trade, exchange of money, and all of that is done. Startups can exist well from the comfort of their homes, from the solution these startups are offering. So if you see how economies are growing, there is someone who is thinking about simplifying it. It could be you, it could be any other person, but start thinking, how am I going to promote my economy? How am I going to make the system of Nigeria work? What numbers? What are the numbers that stand? For every business, for every interest, there's a niche and there's a market segmentation. Not everybody's your customer. but you also need to look deeply into understanding who your customer is, who is the right person. Then you go into segmentation. Segmentation talks about, in this huge market, what segment of this economy, what segment of this market needs am I offering my service to? How am I going to offer them this service? And how am I going to stand strong to ensure that I keep these customers and there is also returning customers hereafter? So branding will look at how your economy is affected, how it simplifies solution for your economy, and the numbers of people who are interested in doing business through your service. So look deeply and try to understand what works in the now. Very, very important. Now, there are global brand significances and special needs that exist. I want to give an example. So I'm going to throw a question and which I would also maybe find an answer to. So now I need you to think about this. If I own a company that offers food, brands for kids' food solutions, more like food for children, for babies. Now I ask the question: who is the customer? Who is my customer? The mother or the baby? You obviously say the mother is the customer, but why are we branding these products to interest the babies? So there are psychologies of branding that help attract the right brands. So I walk into a shop with my 10-year-old son and he points at a PS5. Who is the customer? Am I the customer or is my kid the customer? What is the psychology being promoted here? And what channels of promotion are you using to promote your business? So branding is not complete without a channel of communication, channel of promotion, and channel of reach. What funnels are you building? Who is interested in this product? And how are you building them together to understand their various needs? So what funnels are very unique for your environment, for your market? You need to understand this in area of branding. Branding is very, holistic, and branding is very robust. So you need to know what is very vital for you. Just like the field of tech, you only need to stay on what track that concerns and benefits your society. You're ready to build, start thinking, how do I make it work? Now, how do you differentiate your brand from your competitors? What is the thing you offer that others are not offering? What is unique about you? Are you making your beads with wood? Are they made with, plastic? Are you making it out of, different creative materials? What is the cushioning effect that comes with the solution you offer? I remember working with a friend who introduced me to his auto mechanic, and the solution this young man offered, very, very friendly, and from a single solution, he offers to continue checking out the vehicle for another 1 month. Now, that is his own way of trying to keep me as a customer. I'm sure you find a lot of automobile mechanics everywhere, but this person is saying, I will do this service, I'll fix your car now, and for a little extra, I would check on your vehicle for the next 1 month. So branding is not just about design, it's about the mentality. What the psychology are you doing to strengthen your brand, to strengthen your product, to strengthen the service you're offering? So who is interested? And who are you getting on board? How do you retain your customer? All of these are strategies that come with branding. I'm sure you'll be surprised to hear all of this, but all of this come with strategies built around branding. So branding is about how people see you and how you see yourself, plus how the business works. Branding is not how beautiful it looks, it's how it works. So start creating, alternative solutions. Start creating, having a rethink about how your business operates, and stay focused on how to make it stronger and accelerate it in your economy. It's very important. Now, how do I stand out as a brand to attract more clients? Yes. How do you get to your clients first? And what avenues make you want to keep them? I want to keep my clients. How are you connecting to them? Do you check up on them? Is there a follow-up mechanism? Is there, do you have bonus solutions that you offer at time intervals? What exactly are you giving to your clients? What are you giving to your customers, to your consumers everywhere? Why do they want to, look back and say, yes, Mr. A or Mr. B is rightly delivering the best solutions for me, and I need to stick with him? So you need to look at all of this and reevaluate if your business is doing the right thing. It will take a little time, but if you focus on it, give it a few weeks, you will come out, with something way, way better than what you had previously. So I want to look at some of the questions which I put together just to help you refocus on this whole ideology of branding and how it supports the economy. How do you brand yourself for success? First of all, there is a personal brand identity development. On your social media platforms, how do you look? What is your outlook on social? There is an outlook for social, and there is an outlook, general outlook for your personal profiles. How does your CV look? What is your resume? How intentional are you about building your resume, your profile? Most times organizations now want to connect with your social network and social platforms to look at you and see your kind of personality. Many do not just want to hear from you. I've conducted a lot of interviews over social, over the internet, and assessments is done. The person worked, the individual is invited, and finally work resumes without sight unseen, physical sight unseen. So you need to know this. Your social media identity matters so much to you. Be intentional about what you put out there. There are several social media, there are several platforms that promote, identity development. Your LinkedIn platform, your Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, depending on what works more for your kind of person. If you're a designer, if you're into the video or multimedia industry, the Instagram is for you. Having a website is also key, but personally, identifying your niche matters. How am I building myself? I need to know how I'm building myself. I need you to look at how it's working for you before thinking of how to connect to economy. You need to come out better. You need to become better. Just like you want people to treat you, start treating yourself the same way. So start thinking of your own outlook. How unique is it? Most times, your name, your presentation is all that people need to start a proper evaluation about your identity. So think of it, think and start working on it. How can a 2-year-old startup manufacturing business effectively handle branding to build customers' loyalty? And access financial support. That is very key for your business. If you're keeping the right records for your business, do not, you might not be connected, you might not be getting ready for the right development. You might not be getting ready for support for financial investments. So what records? Everybody wants to be sure that you have some level of integrity. How can I work with someone whose books are not clean, are not updated? You might want to update your records, and you really need to work on your corporate identity. For every business, there is a CSC that exists, the Corporate Affairs Commission. Go register your business. By the time you register your business, get your documents clear, be focused, stay straight on what you deliver, continue on it for a period of time, and keep your records. Now, when these are clear, anybody who sees your records would find it trustworthy. But then think of this. How do people see my business? Would you treat yourself? Would they treat your business the way you want? So if you don't have the right records, start building on record keeping. Record keeping is very important. Team management is second. And finally, how you connect this business, your records, with your everyday developmental growth is very important. So do not play down on any of this. For people asking different types of questions correlating to how you work, I'll be rounding off in a few minutes. There is a lot that connects with personal development. So your social identities matter, but books are also very important in everything you do. Think of the books, who is seeing, who is looking at me, who wants to see, and who do you really want to project this? Are you working to get partners? Are you working to get funders? Are you working to get investors to come in to work with you? Then you need to keep your sheet straight. Then not about just keeping the sheet. Think of another medium where you can communicate your growth process to your possible investor, or how you can put it out there in the open. If you own a website, make it open. Have your resources, give updates of what your business is doing, your organization is doing, and talk of how open the cost, the implementation plans, and your growth plans. So there is a vision, there's a mission, there's an aim, there is a long-term goal, a short-term goal, how all of this connects with your business, very, very importantly. So I would look at the next question. Please bring in your questions. Go ahead to ask your questions. So how can I start a branding company? Okay, now this question is something that I've received time and time again. How do you start up a branding company? First of all, are you in the line? Are you in this career path of branding? Identify yourself. Are you doing it better? Put yourself through training, undergo trainings. A co-innovation center is there to help you bloom. If you are within the city of Lagos, if you are outside, there are a lot of tech hubs and hub spaces that will help you understand branding and how to promote your personal identity. First of all, look at what do you want. Is this your interest? Is this an area you find special interest for? Do you have a passion for that? Do not just go into it for the business. There are born designers. There are people who coerced into design because of what comes through it. But first, have an eye for design. Go into it. Take some time. Grow under people. Do some free jobs. I would say this and this again. Volunteer for projects. Volunteer for organizations. When there is a project running at any interval, connect with this project and volunteer your time. In the process of volunteering your time, you can tell the organization you're working with that while I'm volunteering my service to you, I would need a recommendation thereafter. It might be for 3 months or 6 months time, and that augments your growth plan. If you work on these things, you would grow. It is when you start, growing, that branding, running a business that builds and centers around branding becomes relevant. So as a graphic designer, are you into the motion graphics? Are you a web developer? Are you, is your interest, whatever the interest is, you might not work alone. You don't really need to work alone in this sphere. You need a team to make it happen. What type of branding do you want to offer? Is it just graphic, the face branding? Is it a psychological branding? There are organizations that do just psychology of branding, and they also work in hand with the physical branding, the facial branding organizations, just to give you the very best solutions. So there are things you need to do to start up your brand properly. What is the best advice for a tech startup with branding budget? Yes. First of all, you need to bootstrap. As a startup, you need to bootstrap. What do you have? What do you have? At the moment, you need to really bootstrap. So first of all, find what is affordable. Who can you get on board for your team to make this work? So I want to take the very first question I've seen here. What advice can you give to someone going into data and airtime business with a lot of competitors? Now, I'll treat that, while I round up. How can someone in the entertainment industry, music, movie skit, brand himself, herself, judging the large number of competitors these days has increased by the trend of social media? Okay, in just 2 minutes, I'll wrap up this session and then going straight into the questions. So branding is holistic, but also make sure that what you're going in for is the right, market for you. What are the techniques to employ this while branding a new business? Yeah, I've said that you need to identify your face branding and the psychology of your brand. Connect all of this. Take time to understudy what you want to offer, take out to people, and then put together a document, more like a business proposal, a business plan for your organization. This will be a working document that helps put you in check, put you in focus for every time, for every window, for every time any milestone is reached. So it helps you understand milestones, work on them intensively and extensively, because it's not just a one-off thing. You need to work on it continually to ensure that you maintain the same standard over a period of time. What type of standards are you offering? So continue on it. That's very basic. What are the latest tech solutions that speed up or aid the branding processes? Yes. With the advent of platforms like Canva, design has been simplified. You can design on the move. Previously, you might need to consult, have a PC where, yes, there's also Canva for the PC, for your computers, but there are many design apps on the phone that simplifies design if you want to go on design. First of all, understand what type of design do you want to offer. Not every design can be done from your phone. So you would need a specialist to get busy on your design. Very important. How to make my staff represent our brand. First, that's beautiful. A beautiful question. You would need to work on team training and development. And this should not be a one-off thing. Train your team, pay for value. If you're ready to get solutions, be ready to pay for value. If you need the right team with the right mentality, with the right concept, continue training them. Tell them your value, stamp it, everywhere within your space. Let your value be communicated to your team. Let it become a lifestyle. If they look at this every time, daily, and very often, it gradually builds into your system. Whatever you see, whatever you look at over a period of time, it culminates into your personality. So you need to look at that. Also, get training. There are resources that are very free on the internet, Udemy and the rest of them. Name them. There are several platforms where you also look offer. Engage with someone, but be ready to offer the value in return. It could be cash or in another kind of solution you're offering, just complementary to the type of service you're getting. So branding is very basic. Looking at how it works for you is also very important. How to differentiate my brand from competitors, how to grow my personal brand. I think I've answered most of these questions. And let me quickly look at this very other one. How can startup brand gain competitive? How can a startup brand gain competitive advantage over leading existing brands? Yes, brands can exist. There are brands. Flutterwave is existing side by side with Paystack. The better your business is building up there, you are slimming down competition if you stay consistent. First of all, what are you doing? Not every business that you look at that you want to replicate. Also think of this. Do you have the first mover advantage? If there's someone who is doing it, think of another way you can offer the solution. And focus on a niche. There is always a segment of the general market that is interested in the way you offer your service. If you're not doing USSD, you can stick to mobile. If you're not doing mobile, you can do web. But stick with people who are very interested, who work within the portals of your delivery style. Then offer them explicit and unique services. Very important. Whatever market you're looking at, if you're doing some analytics on your market, understudy what channels are you offering solutions. If you're offering a solution to, let's say you have a product that caters for women from the ages of 16 to about the ages of 65 or 60. I can bring out 3 segments in this little, in this classification. The way you offer your solution to a 15 to a 30-year-old wouldn't be the same to a 31 to a 45-year-old. It wouldn't also be the same for a 46 to a 60-year-old. Now, this is what I call market, segmentation, classification of markets. If you look at people from the 15 to 30-year-olds, they are perceived to be young people who stay on their mobile phones, possibly, school leavers. So if you are building a solution for such people, understand their pockets. If you're making it, available to them, make it easy for them to also access. Do not offer a high price solution to people who don't have your buying power for such solutions. So understand your market first and then know how to attack it. Understand your market. I'll say that again. Understand your market first, how your market operates, and know how to attack it. So this is what we call demographics. Understand the demographics. In analytics of your market, you will understand the demographic through which they approach and assess your market. You would understand what portals are they using to assess you. Is it a mobile phone or a laptop? What classification are they? Where do they belong? Are they working class? Are they the advanced? Are they, older parents? Are they, the older folks who don't have access to the internet? So sometimes not just the internet is the best way to assess, to reach your market. Most times, traditional media can also work. So thinking of building a brand, also start thinking of portals of reach. If you're building a market for older adults, the internet might not be your best reach. So this craze about the internet is very beautiful if only your market lies there. If your market does not lie between these portals, between these spaces, do not stick to the internet. So do not waste your time staying on the internet. So understand what your market is, build a system that communicates the right value to them, and stick on delivering just the very best to them. I would have a lot to talk about if I can continue, but I would wrap this up at this moment to say, take your time on the study of brand. Start from what do I offer to what is the name of my brand? As simple as Facebook is. Facebook, I think it is largely, explanatory. Take your time, understudy the name, the value of the brand, the colors, your identities, who are you reaching to? What is the segment of the market? The classes of people involved. What numbers are you feeding? What segment of this bigger sector of the market are you interested in delivering your service to? The facial branding, the psychology of your brand, and a lot more that comes with it. So I think, looking at the scope of branding, it is very holistic. And you might want to sign up for training opportunities. I'm sure Eco Innovation Center offers such opportunities, and they have spaces that could let you in to be part of their experience. So with this, I want to say thank you for listening to this session. I would be glad to entertain just a very few questions and then wrap up. Mr. Victor, thank you so much for having me on this show. Your microphone is on mute, sir.
Sorry, thanks, Godson. That was quite explosive. And I'm sure most people will agree with me that that was such an extensive session where he dissected. And of course, 35, 40 minutes will not be enough. He did a job of dissecting what branding is. He highlighted the key issues around the product market fit. Is the product ready for is the market ready for your product? We talked about the two categories of feasibility that he classified, which was what the feasibility to start. Are you dreaming of something up there? How easy for you to start? You want to build a rocket? Do you have what it takes to build it in Nigeria? Feasibility, so that as entrepreneurs you don't get frustrated. We talked about ability to invite others, get co-founders, How do you do it? Investors to join you on the ride, invite other people, which employees to be a part of it, okay? And then is it for the now? I liked the way he broke it down, because at times we need to really, really simplify issues for people to understand. And it was clear. What's the purpose? Is this for you to cash out? Like people would say, or for you to be there to make impact, which we expect that everybody who is an entrepreneur ultimately is about making impact. Every other thing queues up, after making impact. And of course, he spoke a lot about differentiation. He talked about the things that separate you. And why is this important? The space we play is becoming a rapid commodity. Many things are becoming commodity. Like someone said, you want to do skits, it becomes a commodity. Commodity is things that, it's just generally, everybody's doing mass of it. The only way to separate yourself from the crowd of commodity is to differentiate yourself by understanding the techniques and the way in which branding is done. The minute you brand yourself, you stand out from becoming a commodity to being a brand. The difference between a product and a service and a brand is that differentiation. Once you're able to put all this set together and differentiate yourself, and what the basics and the psychographics of your brand is, like you had said, what are the basic features? What are the psychographic features? What basically I'm trying to say is, hearing him here now is not enough. You need to go back to the website, and I'll say it again, www.ecoicenter.com/webinar. Go there and make sure that you get to download and listen again and again to this session and learn something. It's a changing world. Things are really, really, really changing. And I think for everybody, it will be important that you go there. I mean, I've been as posted it there. HTTP and then the ecoinnovationicenter.com/webinar. You will find that it's been posted on the chat room. Get it from there and watch it over and over again. And of course, feel free to send your questions. Feel free to send your questions to us in the back end, the Co-Innovation Center. Send an email, and we'll definitely get you to Godson to answer a few of those questions and see how we can continue to add value to you. I think it's been an outstanding evening. Thank you very, very much, Godson. I'm trying to see if there are other messages, but I think you've answered most of the questions around understanding your market. What advice can I give to people going to data and airtime business? And a few of all those things, you've done quite a lot of justice to that, and we're quite grateful. Thank you very much. For imparting our people. We're sure many more people, and that's what we normally experience. A lot more people. It's the city of Lagos. Go back, and all over the world, they still go back to check, and we see quite a lot of downloads. And as questions come, we'll get back to you. So thank you very much, and we really appreciate you being a part of it.
Thank you, sir. I would add to say that for people who are interested in the materials, I'll make it available and send it across to you so you can make the uploads on your site. So,
yes, beautiful. Beautiful. That's it.
For downloads. So
beautiful. So easily. Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much, Godson. That's a good one. So you have all the slides and the presentation. I'm sure before close of business tomorrow, the edits of this, the extras of this presentation, this webinar, and the slides will be available. Feel free to go and download it. And of course, we'll also send it to everyone in the ecosystem. This is beautiful. Okay, so all the people that have registered, we have your email addresses, we have the community. If you have not joined the Telegram page, we pass a lot of information there around investments, around funding, around so many things. A couple of people we have selected there, which we have commitment that we're going to be working with them on their strategy canvas. We encourage you, join the Telegram page. It's a lot more than this. It's a community in itself. And beyond the TechBiz session of just 5 p.m. every Thursday, we ensure week in, week out that we're engaging with you, sharing information, equipping you, and letting you know information that can help you on this entrepreneurial journey. As Eco Innovation Center, we're committed to handholding our startups using innovation and technology to build their business, committed to handholding them to the process of commercialization. Commercialization is what moves your invention to become an innovation. commercialization is, and we're committed to that. So use all the resources available, and we hope we help you to make the journey a lot easier. I did mention last week that the TechBiz pitch will be coming up very soon. It's going to be physical pitch. The date will be announced very soon. What does the TechBiz pitch offer minus the seminar? It gives you an opportunity where we present you and showcase you like a roadshow to investors, angel investors, and venture capitalists in this city and around. And you can pitch your ideas, they can help you, give you information, and they can help you in the journey. TechBiz pitch is coming up. We're getting the right people to be able to sit as the panelists who will be looking at your ideas and who will be investing and who will be helping you along the journey of entrepreneurship. Make sure that you're watching out for this space. You're watching out for the information on Telegram. You're watching out for the information on our weekly TechBiz webinar, and that is what it is for it for this evening. Thank you, Godson Ogunka, once more for the 49th webinar. TechBiz webinar, of course, powered by Eco Innovation Center. We're glad to have had every one of you that have logged in from everywhere you have logged in over the world. My name still remains Victor Olubenga Folabi, the founder of Eco Innovation Center, standing in, of course, for Doje Keriche, the anchor of this webinar. Thank you very much. Appreciate everyone that was a part of it and has spent time with us. Do have a great evening and see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.